Greetings gastronauts, this is KeefCooks, I am Keef, and today I'm going to get a little bit chefy. I'm going to do posh bacon and eggs. So before we start this extravaganza, let's do a shout out to my new fan, Craig Jessup, yay! And also to Volt Hop, and //Taz//, yep, and Devin and Courtney. Hope you like it, guys. So yeah, I've been getting the urge to be a bit more chefy recently because the UK version of MasterChef, original and best, has just finished, and it was brilliant. Some of the things those guys can do, I can't do them, I don't want to. However, nearly everybody on that series, I think it's almost compulsory, you've got to do a confit egg yolk. And I've never had one, I've never made one, but I reckon I can do it, so I'm going to have a go. Then I thought, a little confit egg yolk on a plate isn't going to look great, is it? So it needs something else to go with it. So I'm going to do fancy bacon. It might be described as candied bacon, we'll see. It's actually cooking now in the sous-vide thingy, but I'll show you how I got there. And I'm going to make some homemade brown sauce and maybe one or two other things. So let's do it. Right, we'll start with the bacon because that takes longest. I'm giving this 6 hours. I've seen recipes where they say 24 hours, and that sounds a little bit excessive to me. I reckon after 6 hours this will be nicely cooked. The bits of bacon that I'm actually using don't have any fat on them. So when I cook this lot, for me, I will cook it for longer because it'll need that much time to render the fat down. So what this is, it's been marinating overnight in good old golden syrup, so it should have a nice sweetness to it. So what you do is get your sous vide up to 64 degrees Celsius, and you stick your bacon in a bag and pop it in, and 6 hours. So that's the bacon underway. Now I'm going to make some brown sauce. Okay, ingredients for the brown sauce. I'm more or less improvising, so don't worry about exact quantities. I've got half an onion, a can of chopped tomatoes, some red wine vinegar, some dates, some black treacle, some dark muscovado sugar, and some tamarind paste, and half a teaspoon each of ground nutmeg, ground ginger, allspice, which will need to be crushed a bit, and a star anise. So first thing to do will be chop the onion quite finely. Now, brown sauce, what a terrible name, but it's a Brit classic. The original and most popular brand, I think, is HP. There's also Daddies and lots of copycats. And they're all quite different, so I'm not trying to mimic any of those exactly. It will be what it is. It'll be nice. So we need to peel and chop the onion. This is me trying to do that technique that chefs are supposed to do. Ag. Not supposed to do that. Flipping heck. Right, onions chopped. I've got some oil heating in the pan there. So I'll just pop the onions in. And we want these to cook gently for about 5 minutes just to soften them. And pop the star anise in there too. Now do the dates. I hate sticky things. I bet we'll get some smart asses, hyper intelligent and knowledgeable people telling me quick, easy ways to do this job, and that'd be nice to know. Okay, worked it out for myself. You don't need to ponce around with a knife, just get your thumb in, break it open and pull out that pip. Okay, onions are nice and soft, so we'll put the tomatoes in and the dates. I'll just let those bubble away for maybe half an hour. Make sure it doesn't boil dry though. Right, we've had, probably 45 minutes on there, and I've added some water to stop it catching. Now I need to just crush up my allspice berries. Not massively, just to break them open. Because this is going to end up being whizzed through the blender and then strained somewhat, so we get a nice smooth sauce. Oh, smells amazing. Okay, so we can just chuck all of the spices and sweet and sour things in. I'll probably just start off with half of that sugar, some vinegar. This is going to be a taste balancing act between sweet and sour. Tamarind is sour. And the last thing, the black treacle. I was whinging the other day and I was trying to get some golden syrup out of a can and it was cold and it wouldn't run, and somebody gave me a good tip, which is just to sit the can in some warm water for a bit, and that works. That makes it run much better. So we'll just stir those together, let them get to know each other a bit, and then we will have a taste. Quite bland, actually. Maybe that'll intensify it when I reduce it, but I think I'll add some more sugar because it is a little bit bitter. Let's taste it again. Yeah, that's more like it. Now then, I'm going to whiz this in the blender, so I want to get rid of that star anise because you don't want to be chomping on that. Just squeeze it through a fine sieve. Right, there it is. It's smoothish. Now I'm just going to boil it quite rapidly to reduce the volume because it's quite runny. It should be very thick, pretty much like ketchup. Right, there's brown sauce, nicely reduced. Not massively smooth, but it'll be okay. Tasty, tasty. Ooh. That is nice. Alright, so that needs to just, well, I'll put it in the fridge to cool down. Now the main event, the Confit egg yolks. In case you don't know, Confit is a cooking preservation method that originated in southwest France and basically involves cooking duck or bits of goose in fat at a quite low temperature, but now we do it with egg yolks. Don't know why, I expect they're wonderful. So what we need to do first of all is get some oil in a container, and I'm going to pop that into the sous vide machine to let it reach a temperature of 64 degrees, which is coincidentally what it's already on for the bacon. Now I've seen quite a few recipes where they put the oil into a vacuum sealed bag and then pop the yolks into that, and I just think that's a recipe for failure. You're going to crush your egg yolks and they'll break, and that's not what we want. Right, Houston, we have a problem. I know that this is 64 degrees, this water, and I can't get the oil to go higher than 59 degrees, and this has been going for half an hour and it's not happening. And I think that's because of the insulating properties of the ceramic dish. So I'm going to transfer that oil into this glass ramekin and see if we can make that work. Right, I put a little foil cap on that to stop the heat escaping, and I think we're nearly there. 62. Right, I tell you what, I'm going to try and put an egg in there anyway. I mean an egg yolk, obviously, you knew that. So there it goes. Oh, there's a bit of white attached. Okay, in you go. Ploop. Bit of white attached to that as well, never mind. And that needs 45 minutes. Right, things are getting a little bit exciting. The egg yolks have had their 45 minutes and a bit more. They can have several hours actually, but and the bacon has probably had 8 hours rather than the 6 that I expected. And now I'm going to make some bits and bobs. I've actually got in the oven some very finely chopped onion and bacon that I fried up, and that's going to be like a crumb to sprinkle on. I've got a slice of tomato, and I'm going to try and make a cheese tuile. I've also got my egg whites poaching in some water in the frying pan behind me. So I'll just sprinkle the cheese in a thin layer on some silicone baking sheet. I'll just pop that in the oven for a few minutes to melt. Just saw my bacon and onion crumb is a little bit darker than I expected. Right, let's deal with the bacon. It needs to be seared a little bit to make it look gorgeous. I didn't explain this. This is actually, you want your bacon as thick as you can really get it, and what I got here is from a pack of offcuts of bacon and possibly gammon, so it is, you know, quite a lot thicker than your regular bacon. Oh. Right, cancel the video, I'm just eating this. Oh my god. Oh, that's that's nice. So I've got some oil, ooh, seriously hot in the pan, and I'm going to sear the bacon, and I'm going to put the extractor on. Okay, now I'll build the plate. Okay, so we need a dollop of roux sauce. I can't do that nice swirly thing that they do on the likes of MasterChef, but never mind. And we'll have this chunk of bacon. Haha! I wish I knew how to make a long egg. I think I'll stand that on a tomato because that would look good. There you go. And the cheese tuile. Which doesn't look fantastic, but let's whack it on anyway. Oh yeah, and something else. Confit eggy. Okay. Oh dear. Come on, baby. Oh yeah. Yeah, should have been a bit more careful about that egg white. But hey, I managed it. Ooh. Look at that. And the bacon and onion cinders. Okay. Oh no. Right. Doesn't look like what they do at MasterChef, but does actually look quite interesting. Now, sadly, Mrs. KeefCooks is away this week. Oh, so I've got to eat this all on my own and determine whether it's a wonderful thing or not. So, let's have a bit of bacon. We know that bacon's wonderful. So let's have a bit of Confit egg yolk. Ooh, squidgy, creamy. Tastes like bacon. Actually, that tastes a lot more like egg than eggs normally do. That is wonderful. Brown sauce. Yeah, the black crumb is a disaster. But everything else, oh wow, fantastic. Bit of hard work to make breakfast, but once in a while, it's worth it. And that's that. I hope you enjoyed it. Now please do the usual, likes, shares, comments, subscriptions, donations, patronage, all that good stuff. Or just some of it. And thank you for watching, and see you next time.